We're just sharing my screen while I play the disclaimer. And okay, you can unmute yourself, Raylene, if you can.
Yes.
Okay, beautiful. So welcome to our fifth and last podcast for a little while. So just let me run through a couple of things. There's only me and you on, so I don't need to worry about raising your hand or anything like that.
Yes.
I've done my shared screen and played my disclaimer. I've got my little list here, so I have to make sure I remember it all, otherwise I can get in a lot of trouble when I go to play the video back and there's nothing there.
Yes.
Anyway, all good now. So how are you, Raylene?
I'm great. Thank you very much. And yourself, Jeffrey?
Yeah, very good, very good. And you've been one of our customers for quite some time now.
Yes. I can't remember how many years, but a few now, yes. And I
Yep.
really love the products that I purchase very much so.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And
What I'm doing at the moment, I'll carry on.
I was just going to say, I gather you have some questions for me.
Yes, but what I'm doing at the moment is a friend of mine who has had a diagnosis with emphysema, and of course she's finding it really difficult to have her energy. So I've been suggesting she take the neutralizer for the oxygenation. She doesn't sound bad or anything, but she's, finding it hard to talk and go for walks and things like that. And so she's nearly 80 and a slim lady. And I've suggested her just to start on 1 teaspoon and then increase. I think she's a bit scared to increase, but I do notice when she takes the 2 teaspoons just in a glass of water that she finishes over a period of an hour or so, I do notice that she has a bit more energy. So can I suggest on behalf of yourself with your knowledge that perhaps she needs to increase it over a period of another few days with maybe 4 teaspoons in a litre and see if she can drink a whole litre over time, because she's not drinking enough water?
Well, what I would do, and I always get people to start off on half a teaspoon in a litre of water and sip that throughout the day and then build up slowly that way. It's better to do it over small doses over a long period of time rather than, one go, over an hour or so during the day. So it's always better to do that throughout the day. And I did bring over my little spray bottle. Just hold it 1 sec. Sorry about that. I was all organised and I put it down somewhere and forgot to bring it with me. The other thing I do for anything to do with the lungs is what I do is I have a little spray bottle with neutralizer in it, just neutralizer, nothing else. And I did this. I had smoke inhalation when I was firefighting once, and I did this and it worked very, very well. So I have suggested it to a number of people. Well, what I do is, as I'm breathing in, I spray the neutralizer into my mouth and I breathe it in, so the neutralizer gets into my lungs.
Oh yes, I've done that because I use the spray bottle on my face and I have breathed it in a few times when I've been around very sick people. Okay, yep.
So that's what I would do for anything to do with the lungs, whether that's emphysema or just a bad cough or congestion or I've never had asthma, so I haven't tried it on asthma, but I presume that would work well. So that's what I do anyway, and I just keep building up the neutralizer until I get the results I want.
Yeah. So
And
she could have how many sprays a day? Just start with how
well, you can
many?
do that. I do that as often as I need to. And if I've got something going on, I'll do that quite regularly.
Yeah.
Um, yeah, I had a bit of a sinus infection in the last year, and then it dripped down into my lungs, and I got kind of run down, and then got a bit of a lung infection. So that was one of my protocols for when I had that lung infection.
Right.
Silly me,
Yeah.
I just kept going and going until I drop, like
Right. Yes.
a bulldog.
Yes.
But
Yeah.
yeah,
Prevention. Mm.
yeah, Clayton Tedderton always said, keep building up with the neutralizer until you get the results you want. And
Right.
that's a big
Okay.
key. The neutralizer, and the same with the gel, the more you use it, the more often you use it and the more you build up, the better it works.
Right. Yes. I
So that,
probably have 100 ml a day, but I'll mention that to her because I do have
mm,
another one of those little spray bottles there that I can give her.
yep, yep,
Yeah.
yep.
Cool. Cool. Okay. That's wonderful. Yes, prevention. I'm always into prevention, but when someone has something, I very rarely get sick. It's quite a rare thing, but it's from around people. It's either colloidal silver or now I'm onto the neutralizer. It's the neutralizer that I
Mhm.
drink or in
Yep,
my
yep,
lungs. Okay. Now,
yep.
when people are washing hands, is it 1/3 of the green soap and then 2/3 water?
Yeah, that's still quite a strong mix. So
Oh,
1/6 is plenty.
oh, rightio. Yep.
I just happen to have one right here. So
I
that's
can't see you because I'm
no, no,
driving.
you
So.
can't, but you'll be able to see it on the replay.
Oh, yes,
So
certainly.
the that's roughly 1/6. I don't actually
Oh,
measure it, but I
yeah.
find
Right.
1/6 is about one finger level on the bottom with soap, and then
Okay.
the rest water.
And then it
Um,
still foams up all right because
oh,
sometimes if
for,
I have
for
not enough,
sure, for sure.
it's too runny. Okay. Right.
Most definitely. Now I got soap all over my hand. I'm gonna rub that on
Uh,
my balding head.
yes. Yes. I like the
Now I'll sparkle.
moisturising one for my whole body and my hair as well. I've transferred over to that for my hair and it's been really great. I
Yep,
mean, I
yep.
used it on my body anyway, the moisturising soap, but I thought I'll use it on my hair now. And
Hmm.
that's been really, really great.
For sure.
I notice less hair, even though it grows, and I don't dye my hair or anything. It's falling out less, so that's a nice feeling because it needs to
Hmm.
thicken up. So that's good.
Mm.
Once you get to the 60s, and so for other cleaning, I know you've had a list out,
Hmm. Just to
but just
stop,
as
just to
I'm
go back to where you were before we get too
yes,
far in.
yes,
Um, yeah, so that 1/6 solution, and you may have noticed, well, you wouldn't have noticed because you probably can't see me, but I've put that soap straight onto my skin and I haven't washed it off.
right,
And really, unless you've got dirty hands or something like that and you need to get the dirt off, then you can actually put the soap on the skin and it doesn't matter if you don't take it off. It's very good for the skin anyway.
yes, I did see that in the information that it was moisturising.
Yep,
So that's at 1/6. That's what
that's
you're
correct.
meaning?
Yep,
Yeah,
yep.
right.
Yep,
Yeah.
and it's
Okay.
it's you can everybody's different, so and everybody has more sensitive or less sensitive or more oily and less oily skin. So you adjust that to make it stronger or weaker to suit yourself and your application and what you're using it for. Definitely
Yes,
for the
very good.
face, I definitely recommend using a weaker solution because the
Yes.
face is a lot more sensitive than the rest of the body. Whereas on my hands, if I'm working on vehicles or greasy hands or anything, I can use the soap straight, neat on my hands to get if I've got grease from working on cars or bikes, that'll
Right.
take that straight off.
Yes. Okay. Yes. So that's concentrated, you were meaning?
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Sorry, just cut out. Sorry. Okay. Well, that's great. Yeah. And then when we go to obviously just by hearing that, then each time if you got needing something different like stains on clothing, perhaps you do neat or other different things, you'd go different strengths. Like I think
Exactly,
someone said
yes.
that they cleaned their oven. Not that I don't have an oven, so but if they do that, they have different strengths, isn't it?
Yes, yes. So definitely, well, for stains, I always use it neat directly on a stain on clothes.
Yep.
And you can leave that for half an hour, or I normally just chuck them straight in, and by the time the washing machine's done its thing and filled up with water, that's usually soaked in nicely.
Right. Yeah. Great.
For oven cleaning, for anything that's really greasy, I try and use it straight.
Yes,
Or
that's
even
what
a
I.
very strong mix. I've used a 50-50 with water and soap for the oven, and that worked really well.
Okay. So I heard you say 50-50 of something,
The
and then
soap and the water, a soap and water.
yeah,
So
that's what I thought
50-50
you meant.
mix
Yeah.
of soap and
Yeah.
water
Okay.
for
Yeah.
things that
Oh,
are, the oven, we couldn't use it straight because it's just too hard to get on walls and the roof and everything straight. So although you can, you could squirt it straight onto a cloth, and do it that way. But
yeah.
in the book, it actually says to warm the oven up and then just use the foam from the foaming bottle, and a 1/3
Mhm.
mix would work really well there.
Oh, that's the
And
1/3 mix that I.
yeah, and it
Right.
also, obviously, so you make it up different strengths for different applications. The more
Yeah.
greasy it is, the less water you want to have with it.
Yes. Okay. That's my understanding now. Cool.
Yeah,
Okay, because I
and
know that a friend was telling me about this and that and the other thing, and I was like, oh, I really need to understand more about that.
yep.
Yes,
Yeah, and you can
fantastic.
also use that foaming bottle for carpet stains as
Oh, yeah.
well, and then and rather than rubbing it in, my friend told me his father was a carpet layer, you actually pat it. So leave the soap on for a little bit and then actually pat it and sort of squeeze the stuff back out, the stain or the whatever's
Oh,
on there.
yeah,
Rather
yeah,
than when you rub on carpet, it actually rubs it deeper into it.
yeah. Right. So you pat it and then it's absorbing back up.
Yep, yep.
Yeah, yeah, gotcha. Right, onto the paper towel or cloth or whatever. Right.
That's
Okay,
it.
that's
Yep,
really
yep.
interesting. And then the moisturizing one that I use, I must still do a third. That's too strong too, because I do that on my
Well,
face, a third.
yeah. If that's fine for you, then if it works okay for you, then that's all right.
Yeah.
I always try and get people to start off in a weaker solution,
Mm.
especially when they're beginning, because your body's not used to it, and the soap gets the skin working correctly as the body's largest detoxifying organ.
Yes.
So what it does, it cleans out all the oily um, gunk and whatever it is from other soaps or just daily grime, and cleans that out so the body can um, remove its own toxins out through the skin the way it's naturally meant to.
Mm. Yeah.
So
Okay.
when one first starts using the soap, you can have a little bit of a detox. Although because it's coming out of the skin, it shouldn't actually um, affect you, um, internally wise. You may get a bit of a rash or something like that as
Yeah.
toxins are coming out. But
Yeah. Sure.
often we find with a lot of skin problems is they get worse before they get
Yeah.
better
Tell
because
people that. Yeah.
yeah, the toxins are coming out, whatever it is that's going on, start getting
Yeah.
drawn out, and so it can actually get a little bit worse before it gets better.
Yes, that's the healing process. Yes, I do educate people in that when I talk about
Yeah.
getting their gut flora right. Things can get worse before they get better, and the other things that I sell as well. And people are finding, yes, so going just quickly about, um, is there anything else that you have heard of or people have really, found beneficial with that moisturizing soap, or is it mainly for the body?
Yeah, definitely just for the body.
Yeah,
Um,
okay, cool.
It's more the moisturising soaps for people that have dry skin. I've got really oily skin, so I really don't use the moisturiser or the moisturising soap.
Right,
Some people, even if they've got oily skin, will use the moisturising soap. They find it better for the hair,
right, yes,
just
okay,
because it kind of you've got that moisturising effect, and then other people will use the skin moisturiser after they've washed their hair as a conditioner. Then other
okay,
people have
yes.
used the gel and the skin moisturizer as a conditioner afterwards. And there's
Mm.
been quite a few, I've heard quite a few different combinations of ways
Oh,
to do
great.
your hair.
Oh,
Fortunately, I
that's
don't
really
have to
good.
worry too much about that at the moment.
Yeah,
I've
yeah,
been
well, I
I've been
don't have
shaving my
oily
head and
skin. Oh,
keeping
yeah,
it.
well, I don't have dry, oily skin, but I like anything natural. And, heading into our 60s and skin changes. So it's mature skin. And I just feel that I like to continue with something natural because I've had something natural for 30 years. And then when somebody told me about your products, I thought, right, well, that's another great product that I can support Australia made. And
Well,
yeah, that's
it's actually
fantastic.
made in the US.
Oh, pardon me. Okay,
Yeah, yeah.
thank you. Oh, yeah, because
Um,
they have the gallons on there. That's right.
yeah, I can't. There's only one family in America that knows how to make it, and nobody else knows how to make it. Even the US government tried to back engineer it, and they couldn't work it out.
Oh, very good.
The army over there tried to buy them out because they wanted the neutralizer for the germ warfare and
Yes.
chemical warfare because
Oh,
of
wow.
the way it neutralized everything. Um,
Right.
yeah, so there's been quite a few people have wanted the formula for all sorts of things.
I hope they pass it down their family then.
Yes, well, I have. The son Kirk is the one that makes it now.
Oh,
Uh,
great. Hope he's
so
passing it down.
yeah,
That's
well, who
great.
knows?
Yes. Yes. Certainly hope so. If it's a great business globally, you'd want to be keeping
Yeah,
on passing it down.
I've been
And
trying to get him
so
to
that
pass it on to me so we can make it here in America and save the huge shipping
in
costs
in Australia, yes. Yeah, I knew what you meant.
yeah.
Yes. Yeah. And so back to that neutralizer you're saying about chemicals and things. Um, so there's oxygen, hydrogen, calcium, magnesium, and because it's minerals, a lot of people are saying to me, I just can't believe I have a lot more energy. Sorry, a bumpy road at the moment. But are there other clusters of minerals in there? I think you might have touched on that one time, and I missed the webinar, the Zoom.
Well, the minerals that are in there, when it goes through its process, um, basically creates a new mineral cluster, and it's that mineral cluster that's highly charged with oxygen and hydrogen.
Right.
And so I believe it's more so. Um, just one sec, let me get rid of that. It's more so the fact that when you're killing off pathogens in your body, or when I'm killing off pathogens in my body, the body has more energy to do its normal thing rather than having to do all that work to kill off pathogens and fight toxins and whatever else it has going on. So if I'm taking the neutralizer, I'm getting rid of a lot of toxins, I'm killing off some pathogens and so forth. So I'm not having to worry. Obviously I've got a lot more energy because the body's not having to do all this extra work and use all my energy up to do those things.
Right.
Not
Yes.
to mention the hydrogen. Um, Hydrogen's awesome for every process in the body.
Yes. I'm,
Just on
I'm
its
reading
own,
up about that.
yeah,
Mm.
just on its own, it's an amazing thing. But it also helps you digest food better. So you're going to get more energy out of your food. You're going to get, and that was one of the first things I noticed was I didn't need to eat as much. Um, just because my digestive system not only was working better and it cleans out that mucosal layer that's right through your digestive system, but the food was being digested better anyway and
Right.
processed
Okay.
better.
Yeah, because we don't have anything much that has hydrogen in it, do we?
No, you can get things that make hydrogen water and so forth,
Yeah.
and you can probably even buy that as well.
Yes, but at my destination, but generally we don't. That's what I say to
Yep,
people. Like, what are you getting hydrogen and oxygen in to help the body to
yep, yep,
oxygenate itself and
yep.
eliminate and digest
Well,
and
well,
that sort of thing.
water naturally has. It's why it's called H2O. It's naturally hydrogen and oxygen, but the neutralizer, the way they formulate it, it has copious amounts of hydrogen and oxygen um, um, that are on these mineral clusters. Um,
Yeah.
and so, because hydrogen is, even if you make hydrogen water, that hydrogen starts dissipating straight away, even if it's in a glass bottle with a cap on. I don't know how many hours or minutes or how long it takes to dissipate out of the water, but the way they do it, it stays, it's basically kind of stuck to the mineral clusters. It's formulated onto the mineral clusters. It's a very unique process.
Yeah.
And so
So
that
would it
hydrogen
be
stays there, and because it's on those mineral clusters and it's got the magnesium, calcium, and potassium in it, it allows to get into the cell through now let me get this right, uh, the calcium gate that's on each cell.
right?
And
Like a
that
key, I think, isn't it?
so that opens up the cell and allows the neutralizer to get into the cell and clean out the cell, which then allows the mitochondria to work better, the redox signaling to work better. All of these things suddenly work better because there's no toxins in the cell, and the cell is charged.
Right. Yes. Excellent. And that's negatively charged for our positive body, isn't it? Or is
It's
it? Yeah.
negatively charged because all toxins are positively charged.
That's right. That's why I stand on the ground and hug trees.
That's right.
Negatively charged. Yeah.
Yep,
Oh,
yep, yep,
that's excellent. Yeah, that's really good information. And I think you went through the gel and a few other things previously.
yep.
And yeah, I'm really thrilled with the product. And people who have purchased it at my health stand have said many good things about it. So
That's
that one
wonderful.
thing about my friend spraying it in her lungs, obviously she's very scared, so she would
Well, that's
like
what
to.
I do, and I can't tell people
I
what
would
to
do it.
do,
I do it,
but
yeah, but I
that's
do
what
that
I
as
do,
well.
and what people do in their own lives is their own business. But
Yeah,
it's definitely what I do when I have anything going on in the lungs, and even a sore throat, or a tickle, or a cough, or for anything going on like that. And I also spray it up my nose
yeah,
um, as well. Spray it on my eyes, spray it on my face. Yeah, works
yeah.
really
I
well.
spray to my face every morning as well.
Hmm.
Yeah, cool. Oh,
There you
that's so
go.
good. We
There
feel
you
very
go.
privileged to be able to share these products and have them for ourselves. Like me as a single person, I'm saying we as in you must feel great, and the people
Yep.
who I've shared it with, it just it's game changer for a lot of people. Even just adding a new soap, having something that's not toxic, cleaning them whole body or cleaning their house with things, and then having the neutralizer. Those for me are the three products I'm using so far. So looking into the gel going forward, yes,
Yeah, and and not only is it toxin free, but the soap and the neutralizer, they all neutralize toxins.
yeah,
So, and that continues going on as it goes down the drain, to
right,
continue on for the earth. And I've had some Australian Indigenous people who have used it in waterways, and they haven't used it on themselves, but they just wanted it for the waterways, and I've cleaned up waterways. Just using the neutralizer as a soap. I'm not sure which one exactly they use, but yeah, and I do a similar thing as well myself.
excellent. My friend, two friends, a gentleman and lady I'm visiting here now, and my other friend in Harvey Bay, their PSA for their prostate. had come down. So they were absolutely wrapped with
Oh,
the,
that's pretty good. Yep.
yeah, really fantastic. Yeah.
That's awesome. Awesome to hear.
Yeah. Mm. All
Very
right.
good.
So I better love and leave you because they're ringing and finding out where I am.
All right. Thanks,
Thank you
Raylene.
so much for your time, and I really do appreciate that.
Yep. For sure. Thank
Okay.
you for coming on and asking some great questions.
You're welcome. And I'll see you another time. Put another
Thank
order in
you.
soon.
All
Take
right.
care.
I'll close up
Thanks.
the show now. So you can go and I'll just close up the show and give
Thank
a few
you.
final things. All right.
Cheers.
Cheers. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Okay. Well, that looks like just me and Raylene today, which is always good. There we go. She's jumped off. So yeah, that's it for today. This is our last podcast for probably at least a few weeks. I've got a bit on the next few weeks with a mystic retreat and other things. And so I'll see how we go. We may revisit this whole podcast again in a month or so, a few weeks. Yeah, so that's that. I'll put this onto the replay and I'll send that out to everybody. All right, I'm also going to send out a couple of separately in separate newsletters some videos that other people have done and some interviews of Clayton Tedderton and things. So you might get some more information there. So thank you everybody for watching and we'll see you next time. Ciao. Bye.